Okay. All right. Can you hear me well?
Yep.
Okay,
Hello,
perfect.
Islam.
Hello, Mr. Ahmed. How are you?
I'm very fine.
Very good. Glad
How
to hear
how
it.
how are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm doing a research, as you know, and I would like to take your insight. So, could you
Yep.
please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Uh, Actually, I'm Ahmed Hamdy. I'm working as management consultant in one of the regional consulting firm covering like 4 or 5 countries in the Middle East and East Africa. We are working in general consultancy, covering a lot of exposures like restructuring, business process reengineering, also the strategy formulation and implementation, as well as the learning and development activities. Actually, I'm working between Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and overall the Gulf area. I'm focusing on the restructuring programs and strategy formulation, as well as the project management. And my experience before was in the talent management field, as well as the performance improvement, which is more into appraising people and coming up with individual programs and individual development plans to sustain and to enhance people capabilities and so on, and building capacities. And I'm graduating from Faculty of Commerce English section. And I have master degree from Cairo University in the human capital measurement, and I also held a certificate from the ATD, the Association of Talent Development and Performance Improvement and Managing People Capacities. And I'm here today with you just to open a discussion, a fruitful discussion and insightful, inshallah, about these questions.
Thank you very much for such an introduction. Glad to be here with you as well today. So, here we go. Let's start with the first question. The first part
Yes.
we have here as a theme for our questions that will follow is how do you, as a manager, or how do you think that managers in Egypt they involve their employees in decision-making process? How do you think they involve them?
You're asking me about myself, my personal experience, or the business
I'm
context
asking
in
you
the
about
country?
personal experience and about other managers you have seen before, how they consult their employees to get to be in the process of making decisions.
Actually, regarding this point, I'm also keeping in my mind that it's really important and it's really significant to make people have influence. If people feel that they have influence about the tasks that they are doing, about the activities that they are conducting, they will also come up with a great achievement, a great accomplishment. So keeping people feel that they have influence in what they are doing is essential for any development and any practices like this, like the one that you're asking about. So I think the key point here is the influence. Influence people. They have to feel that they have influence in decisions, in feelings, in their voices to be listened to, their views to be seen, their contribution to be praised and accredited. This is the best practice. This is my personal insight about this.
Okay. And how about what do you think about the, let's say, the Egyptian market? How do you look at managers? Are all managers following the same best practice that you're trying to follow? Or do you think there is a difference when it comes to local business and multinational business?
Uh, Actually, there is a considerable difference between those two environments. In Egypt we have a big local market, and this local market is far from being advanced and kind of developed. And we have also a multinational or multinational companies, multinational corporations in so many sectors, in oil and gas, in food manufacturing, in so many sectors in the country. Um, Needless to say, the local market, uh, I don't think they are following the best practices, because you know that we are in Egypt. We are kind of masculine culture. This masculine culture, you know, inter kind of impose lot of things which is not the best practices. Like the boss is kind of imposing his opinions, his thought, and people have to follow and people have to apply. And you know that there is a motion that we have been doing this and we have been succeeding in this way, so we don't have to apply new practices or to follow new methodologies. This is in the local businesses. In multinational companies, uh, in multinational companies, the type of calipers is really different, and is really they are coming from foreign universities, the American university, the British university, and a lot of people are studying abroad. So they have full of capacities and full of additions and full of things they can add. So this practice is slight different, you know. They
Mm-hmm.
are not imposing things, but they are all they and we can say they are moderate in applying this. But it also depends on the personal approach.
Mm-hmm.
So you can work in the same in the same multinational corporation, but there are managers who are open for discussion. They are liberals. They are you know, praising different voices and so on. And some others are they are like not explicit people. They are or not you know, they are not open for discussion. You know, they are imposing and they are limiting themselves to their views.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, in multinational corporation, the bar is a bit higher and a bit better than in the local companies.
Okay. So what I get from you now when it comes to local business, when it comes to consultation for employees, they are like barely consultation. The boss like goes over there, they have the thoughts, they have the ideas, and they ask employees to follow and implement, but they're not really engaged in decision
Yeah,
making. In
yeah,
multinational, it depends on the organization's culture, let's say.
yep.
Okay. All right, that's very insightful. Thank you. The second part I want to ask
Can
about,
can
please.
I can you hold for a second just
Sure,
to plug in the charger, because the mobile is
sure,
about to
of
die.
course.
Okay,
Sure.
just yeah, okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So the second part, actually, I wanted to ask about, which is related a little bit to the first question. Within a meeting, let's say, how actually managers in general in Egypt, how do they respond to criticism from your point of view?
Managers. You mean managers?
Yes. And
Uh,
afterwards, maybe we can talk about employees as well.
let's differentiate between two types of criticism. You have like criticism related to technical points, related to technical differences, technical point of views, and there is a criticism related to personal views and personal behaviors, and that's it. In my opinion, I think the criticism that relates to the personal views or the attitude or the behavior is the worst. You know, and the
Mhm.
worst in eyes of managers, in eyes of the responsible bosses or business owners, and so on, because you can easily have different points of views regarding the technical points, and you can like compromise the two views easily. But regarding the criticism that relates to attitude or behavior, I think this is not acceptable at all in Egyptian business communities. People say that the criticism is insult, is accused to their personalities, to their history, to their achievement, and this is rooted deeply in our culture, in our ways of thinking, in our thinking models. We have a model of thinking which is seeing, or which is dealing with criticism as it is you, as if you are criticizing the person himself, not
Mhm.
his opinion, not his way of responding to things, not, you know.
Yeah.
So this is in general in sociology. In sociology, if you are studying, I think you are covering part of sociology in your thesis. But if you're doing the same exercise in Egypt, and you know very well that we are in Egypt, we are not open and we're not tolerating kind of the criticism in any level, in a governmental agency, in any general entity, in anything.
Uh,
And shadowing this to business, in business as well, this is not also accepted. And if you're about to criticize your manager, you have to know that your days at work are limited and are counted, could be easily counted, because managers are not open for criticism.
Okay. So from this point of view, I heard you as well talking in the beginning about, and you mentioned a phrase that got me really interested. The part with what actually bosses say in local business, that this is the way that we know it. This is what we have been doing so far, and we get results out of it. We don't need new strategies. From this point of view, let me ask you, are people, let's say in multinational or even local business, do you think that people in Egypt are open enough for new strategies, or do they like to work and stick to what they know?
Actually, in business, we have two technical terms regarding this point. We have something called business as usual, okay, BAU, and a change. You will also stick yourself to business as usual as much as you can, as long as your daily operations are not affected by anything, are not disrupted. Okay.
Mhm.
Once the disruption comes in, disruption a means disruptions in means of the revenues, disruption mean of the productivity, disruption mean of political or economic or social factors. So once you are or as long as you are protected from disruption, and as long as you're gaining some good returns on your business, there is no way and there is no need for change. And okay, uh, and that reflected on anything under this umbrella. There is no change. The business as usual.
Okay.
But when it comes to the disruption hurt your business in terms of a new opening in the market, in terms of some financial shortcomings, some cash flow disasters or crisis, any kind of crisis that could happen to and that could badly affect your business, you will wake up and you will start searching for solution
A change call.
and change culture.
Mm-hmm.
And badly and يعني generally speaking or يعني frankly speaking,
Mm-hmm.
the change that relates to people is coming down to your list of priorities. They
Mm-hmm.
are they mainly start with handling some things related to finance, related to marketing strategies, related to all many stuff. But when relates to people, they are reluctant to. They. It seems that all of business owners, except a minority, are reluctant for this. Okay, this is from a business perspective, the disruption and the change. Your question, can you please
Is
remind?
my question, like, is also like, this is from a business perspective, but how about a reality perspective? What's actually happening on the ground? Are people more open for change, for changing strategies, for something more innovative, or people they tend to work and to stick to what they know? What happened, like, reality speaking?
Which kind of people you mean?
People like in business work when it comes to either local business or multinational.
You mean here the staff or employees or business
Exactly.
owners, managers?
Staff, employees.
Um, Generally speaking, also people will not adhere to any change unless this change is sort of uh, benefiting them, is
Hmm.
beneficial for people.
Okay.
So if the change is related to rewarding, related to new techniques, new practices, new things, people will easily be open and will easily be يعني will be easily accepting this.
Hmm.
But in reality, people are against the change because people prefer to stay at comfort zone, because comfort zone is the place where your capabilities are stretched, are just relaxed, and there is no pain. And
Uh-huh.
when getting out of this, your things are 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 going to be painful, are going to be more harsher, more tougher. So and this reflected very in a very big يعني space on business.
Uh-huh.
People, I don't think people believe in a change unless the management, unless the company culture and structure and business processes are enhancing such a change.
Uh-huh.
We used to apply this in HR using tools like job rotation, job enlargement, job enhancement, kind of rotating people, kind of doing some changes on the company structure, and also in order for this structure to absorb changes easily and to be flexible for this.
Uh-huh.
So here you paved the way for change.
Okay.
But if you think that change comes from people and change happens at night, all overnight, it doesn't happen that way.
Uh,
And that's it. So change, it is not is not taken by product, is not at all
Still
uh,
somehow for people in Egypt, still challenging within the workplace.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
So my last question for you, how do you think, how what motivates employees in Egypt?
As all places, as all business environments and business spaces in the world, people are being satisfied with two things. First thing is we call it in HR and business, the intrinsic motivation, and the opposite is the extrinsic motivation. I also prefer to name it like the hard and the soft satisfaction.
Okay.
Uh, the basic level of satisfaction comes from salary, bonuses, money, from compensation, financial reward, compensation in terms of money, in terms of bonuses, in terms of allowances, in terms of grants, in
Mhm.
terms of financial reward. Either this financial reward is being delivered in terms of money or in terms of services like housing services, like
Mhm.
schooling for child services, like sporting or supportive sporting activities services. This is the direct satisfaction and the direct reward and the intrinsic motivation. Ahead from this is the extrinsic motivation. The extrinsic motivation is coming from a more, soft area. It is not based in this kind of this hard area. It's more into engaging people, is more into involving employees, is more into cheering employees with a lot of practices, a lot of tools, is more into making
Raising their
employees,
personality, let's say, raising their
yeah,
personality, their attitude, and so on.
yep,
Okay.
exactly.
From your point of view, what motivates people the most in Egypt? What motivates people the most in Egypt? Do you think the hard satisfaction or the soft satisfaction? What motivates them more from your point of view?
Um, Actually, I think the extrinsic motivation has nothing to me has nothing to do with the Egyptian community,
Mhm.
because reference to the or in terms of in light of the economic situation and the deteriorating living standards in the country due to so many economic burdens in devaluation of the country currency and all these factors, and the suspension of so many economic pillars like the tourism, like the so many economic activities, major economic activities has been suspended or have been suspended due to the political instability like 2, 3, 4 or 4 years ago.
Mhm.
This also have reflection on the business environment.
Ah.
People are tending to be open for the financial reward. People are, and because this is not a luxury, this is a basic thing people they need to have to spend on their spouses, to spend on their relatives, and that's it.
Mhm.
But also the extrinsic motivations also you know um pays off, but it pays off if the first level is satisfied. Unless the first level, which is the financial satisfaction, is satisfied, the next level is going to be satisfied.
Mhm. That's very good. Okay, Ahmed, thank you very much for your insights on such
Thank you
cases
so much.
related to the culture. I will take all of that into consideration. Thank you very much for being with me today, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Islam. Actually,
Have-
it's my pleasure to support you as a friend and brother.
Thank you.
And I also wish you successful, inshallah, contribution in this thesis. And we are looking forward to seeing you back to Egypt, because yani, you don't know how much we feel when we see you. Yani,
Thank you. I really
you're
appreciate
always back. You're always back and support to your friends and colleagues. Thank you so so much, brother.
you
Thank
very
you so
much
much.
for this lovely night and this lovely interview. Thank you very much for your insight. I
Thank
hope I
you.
can see you soon. Thank you and have a lovely night.
Thank you. Bye bye.